Thank you.
I suppose, first of all, I'd like to begin by welcoming the establishment of this new department. I particularly want to emphasise to the Minister the whole area of apprenticeships and having a coordinated strategy towards engaging with people and getting more people to be involved and take up apprenticeships. In the past, the governments have allowed the private sector and some local authorities to really manage apprenticeships and in ad hoc fashion, and it depended on the market. What I'm looking for is a constructive plan to be put in place by this department so that apprenticeships are given, I suppose, their place in the educational system. When you look at this, the system they have in Germany and the amount of apprentices they train across all different sectors in their society, that's something that we should be looking to establish here. So I hope the department will take that on board and will look at that. I'd also like to raise the issue of attending third level. And one of the key factors this department will have is getting people to attend third level who don't come from backgrounds or societies or families who have a history of going to third level. Sometimes the supports are in place either in the schools or in the colleges to make that transition possible. I didn't go to third level when I left school. I went straight to work when I graduated, when I did my leaving cert in the Northman, and a month later I had a job, and that was the road I went down. It wasn't until I was in my early 30s that I went back to CIT as a mature student. And even my own wife, Michelle, her family, herself and her brothers were first generation to go to third level. And when she went to college, she gave up after 4 months. And we were talking about this new department. And she was making the point that when she went in, she had no friends, she had no one in the college, and that she felt lost and alone, and she didn't feel the structures were there. And when she gave up college after 4 months, no one ever checked up on her to see why or what had happened. So, from her experience and from my own experience, we want this department to make sure that no one is left behind. Now, my wife Michelle went back 10 years later to UCC, where she graduated with an honours degree, and she felt that she was older, more mature, and was able to do that at that stage of her life. And the point she made to me, because she's a teacher now, that some young people don't feel that they're good enough, and they need that extra support and encouragement, because, like, every person in this country should have the right and be able to go to third level if that's what they choose. And that's why I think this department has a major job of work to encourage that and to help accomplish that. So from that point of view, I really want to support this. But the problem and the downside of it then comes when we look at the increase in the junior minister's pay of €16,000 each, which is 48,000 a year, which will be 240,000, almost $250,000 over the life of this government. Now, for the area I represent in Cork North Central, there are huge issues with getting funding for different projects, and people have been on to me and will be on to me about how can this government justify at this time. Like, I stood here last night with the Minister for Health and I asked him about when will medical cards, the increase in medical cards, be rolled out, and what dates will that happen? Because there's going to be an increase to an over 70s and the money they have, so that would bring more people entitled to a medical card. And he couldn't give me a date. And then people are going to see that we can't give a date for that, but we can give a date to give an increase to for these new super ministers. And like in my own constituency of Cork North Central, we have seen the closure of dental clinics in the Co Foundation in Montanati, in Harrington Square. At the moment, we're looking at the closure of Mount Cara House residential care setting in Redemption Road. We have huge issues in Cork with traffic calming measures because the Northern Ring Road was never completed. That means you have articulated heavy goods vehicles driving to residential areas. I've been on campaigns over the last couple of months with a lot of these groups in Knocknaheeny and Killard and Granabraher and right into Glanmire and Blarney, who are looking for traffic calming, speed reduction measures, signs, and the money isn't there to provide them. But now we have to find this kind of money. So, I've been on the picket line with Debenhams workers for the last over 100 days. And they've been just looking for an additional 2 weeks on top of statutory. And we're saying the government can't do that for them, or can't support them in that. But this week alone, we voted down a bill from the People Before Profit and the Solidarity Party to support the Debenhams workers. And we also, the government put an amendment which in actual fact really killed our bill in looking to support maternity leave and also looking to support childcare. And these were good bills that would really make a difference to ordinary people. And what this message sends out is the elites can get the additional money, but ordinary people have to suffer on. And to me, that's not the message we need to send out from this Dáil. Like I talk, in my area, Cork City and Cork North Central, there's huge issues with housing maintenance, with Cork City and Cork County Council not having enough funding. We have huge issues with trying to provide funding to get derelict and vacant houses returned as quickly as possible. And I'm just saying to the government, we want to support this bill. But as long as the addition of the ministerial pay is tied into it, we can't do it then. And we think that's not right. What started off as a good, positive idea for young people, for everyone, with the new department, should have been left at that, and that should have been constructive. And we've said it, our leader, Mary Lou MacDonald, has said it, we will work with the government when we think they're making the right decisions. And the setting up of this department, we feel, is a step in the right direction. But we're really disappointed that then they've chosen to add this to this pay section to it. And listen, I will leave with this, Minister. I hope you will take on board the points they are making for young people from communities I represent who want to go to third level. I hope that you will take on board the challenges they face, both from an isolation point of view, from a financial point of view, and also in relation to apprentices. We have huge issues with youth unemployment at the moment. A proper apprenticeship scheme would help us get more young people involved in education and in training. And to me, that's what this department should be all about. So listen, go to Míle Maithagad.
Thank you, Deputy. Thank you.